Hello, and welcome to Your Vote Counts, a nonpartisan public candidate interview service program designed to help voters get acquainted with the candidates vying for the 2025 special district election races of Ward 6 on the Salem City Council and Salem-Keizer School Board positions 1, 3, 5, and 7. These interviews come to you through the producers at Capital Community Media, with collaboration on questions from the American Association of University Women and the League of Women Voters of Marion and Polk counties. Interviewers are from the League of Women Voters. All candidates for these races were invited, and all but one chose to participate. Candidates did not receive the prepared questions ahead of time. Candidates were invited to prepare a 2-minute opening statement addressing their background and qualifications for the office, as well as a 2-minute closing statement. I'm Tomika Dew, your moderator from the League of Women Voters, and I'd like to introduce Deanna Garcia, who's running for City Council Ward 6. Welcome, candidate Garcia. We are looking forward to hearing your opening remarks.
Thank you. Am I allowed to start?
You can, please.
Well, first, thank you for having me here. This is kind of a big opportunity. I haven't had a camera interview with anyone, and this is going to live on the internet long after this election is over, so I'm really excited to be here. My name's Deanna Garcia, and I am actively campaigning to be the voice for Ward 6, representing Northeast Salem on the Salem City Council. I have been a longtime Northeast Salem resident. I've lived there for well over 30 years. I am a product of the Salem-Keizer public school system. I graduated from McKay High School. I went on to Chemeketa Community College, and I graduated from Corbin University. I put down permanent roots in Northeast Salem, purchasing a home and having all the intentions to raise my family there because I love my community and I want what's best for it. And I know that being an advocate, being that voice will make all the difference because there's people who truly feel that we are underrepresented in Northeast Salem, and there hasn't been someone that would advocate at the level that they really want to see, and I want to be that.
Thank you for sharing that information with us. Now let's give you an opportunity to address questions of concern and interest of the community. Let me start by asking, what will be your main concerns to address if elected to the City Council?
So my main concerns are, well, my priorities are, number one is public safety. And that involves more than just law enforcement. It involves the fire department, the emergency response teams, and the dispatch center. There has been a lot of people speaking on lack of response or longer response times than they've been accustomed to. And while there may be concerns about staffing shortages, the reality is we aren't seeing enough to help remedy our issues. Northeast Salem is known for being a high crime area, and for people to actually speak out and say that they're not getting a response from law enforcement, or if they are having an emergency situation, not seeing a fast enough response time from some of the other first responders, that's a little bit concerning. Actually, it's deeply concerning. We have a lot of vulnerable individuals in Northeast Salem, and I want to make sure that everybody feels empowered to make the call, whether it's to 911 or to the non-emergency line, and feel as if they're going to be responded to in a time frame that means something to them. Some of my other priorities are addressing homelessness. That is a really in-your-face issue in Northeast Salem. It's on every street corner. It's on the sidewalks and the underpasses along I-5, in our parks, and it's a constant concern that I hear people talk about. They bring their concerns to our neighborhood association meetings, and I try to empower our residents to make the phone calls and make the reports through the online reporting tool, but it just seems like it's just a game of whack-a-mole. And so trying to pinpoint the issue and find resolutions that work, that is a priority of mine. Another concern is housing affordability. Homelessness has its economic reasons along with substance abuse and mental health, but the economic is really in your face. Rent is super high and home ownership is almost unattainable. And I want to make sure that there's the potential and possibility for people to own a home and build generational wealth within their family, but most importantly, be able to have the safety and security of a roof over their head, and have affordable rent. And lastly, the budget. It's a hot topic. It's on everybody's minds. It's also something that's going to be on this ballot. Salem has a deficit, and it's real, and it's going to have a big impact on the community. There's a levy that's going to be on the ballot, and whether it passes or fails, there's still going to be a major impact in our community. It will be felt all throughout Salem, not just in Northeast Salem. So addressing the budget shortfall and trying to find creative ways to make cuts or find different sources of revenue, those will be some of the things I want to work with other counselors to find out how we can reduce the deficit.
Let's turn to the role of City Council members, which is to assist in the creation and adoption of policies for the City of Salem, such as the Salem Comprehensive Plan. Can you tell us about your past experiences in creating policies or plans for an organization?
So I work as an operations and policy analyst for the state of Oregon, and one of the things I do is develop a program. I work on a program where I have to develop program-specific materials for my exclusive department, and one of those has to do with records management and retention. And it's very unique because the department that I work for is actually not just based out of the state of Oregon. We have partnerships with another state as well as federal partners, and being able to work with all of the partners' nuances. Everybody's got different laws and procedures and codes and policies within themselves that need to be adopted into this specific program. So I have experience working with various partners and various entities trying to navigate challenges when it comes to making a policy specific for the community and making it work for everyone. When it comes to the city council, there's 8 wards being represented, and every single one of those people, they have different professions and experiences and perspectives on what they want to do for their community. And what I've been noticing is that everybody has been collaborating well and working together to come to decisions that are going to be the best for Salem as a whole. I do want to represent Northeast Salem. I want to be the voice for Northeast Salem. I want to make sure that we get our fair share and that we're not being slighted over someplace else in the rest of Salem. But I know that ultimately the decisions that have to be made have to be done for Salem as a whole.
Thank you for that. How would you work with the county to accomplish projects to meet the transportation needs of a growing Ward 6 population?
So I truly believe that the city needs to collaborate with all of its regional partners, the county, Polk County, Marion County, and then, of course, our transit program, the Chariots organization, working towards a more functional transit process is very important. We have the Interstate 5 running through Ward 6. We have this long stretch of Lancaster Drive running through Ward 6, and the traffic is wild. And so working with these other agencies and regional partners can help alleviate that and find creative ways to get more people out of their cars, using public transit, finding other ways to make our carbon footprint a little less. and just making it easier for people to navigate our streets and get from our community out to work, to the stores, to medical appointments. Yeah, the collaboration is definitely needed, and there's always going to be work that needs to be done.
Moving on, Ward 6 has a large Hispanic Latino population. How does this demographic impact your constituent outreach and your decision-making processes? What will you do to encourage participation and engagement in city issues?
So I am a Latina, and I feel like representation really matters. If I were to be elected to this position, I would be the first Latina on the Salem City Council, and that would be a big win for our community. Yes, Northeast Salem does have one of the largest Hispanic populations. I wasn't raised by my Hispanic family, so I can just honestly say I'm not the most fluent speaker of Spanish. But I have family members that are, and they've been very helpful in my efforts to work on this campaign and work towards my election. And having the lived experience as being a Latina in Northeast Salem helps me to identify where the issues are and what matters to my community. I want to be able to be that voice. I want to be able to advocate for everyone. I forgot what the last part of the question
The last
was.
part of the question was what you will do to encourage participation and engagement in city issues.
So that's one of the things I've noticed is a lot of people just kind of disengage from being involved with any part of politics. When I've been out door knocking and sharing information about my campaign, some of the families, they don't have anyone registered to vote in the household, or there might be just one person, even though there's 5 adults. And when I ask them why they're not registered to vote, they just don't feel like their vote matters. And I try to encourage them to let them know that your voice does matter. And when you do have a concern, you have someone that you can contact. And so I'm not just out there canvassing and talking about my candidacy for city council. I also share information about our neighborhood association. And most of them have no idea that they have that representation. So I share about that and let them know about our meetings and make them feel empowered to come to those meetings and take an opportunity to research what tools are out there, the resources that are available, just to be informed.
Thank you. You've mentioned the budget earlier. What is your approach to managing the city's budget, and how would you prioritize spending, especially in times of economic uncertainty?
Yeah, the budget's kind of a hot, messy topic, and it's definitely going to take a lot of work and a big think tank to figure out ways to address that deficit. I know that the city has their budget committee, which involves members of council as well as members of the community representing each of the wards, and they've worked hard to come up with a proposed budget. And they also had a revenue task force take a look at things. And then in addition to that, there was an efficiency team that was put in place to look over the budget once again. And it was really hard to find ways to trim or cut or move things around. And that proves itself as a major challenge, but there can still be work done. I feel like the city made some final decisions just recently before releasing the proposed budget, things that could have been done so much sooner. There was consultant fees to the tune of $21 million. That has been cut from the budget. There won't be use of consultant fees, no additional purchases of new vehicles, new cars, new software, and positions that are currently vacant aren't going to be filled. So there are ways to see some sort of a cost savings. There just needs to be taking an additional look to figure out where those cost savings can be made. But the reality is there's a lot more work to be done and a lot of hard decisions to make. And I'm willing to take on the task because I know that Northeast Salem needs somebody to go out there and represent them when those cuts are made, I want to make sure that they're done in an equitable way so that we don't feel it worse than any place else in the community.
Thank you for that. I think we have time for one more question. What is the situation of parks, the number, the conditions, the locations in Ward 6, and have you visited any of them?
I visit my parks quite frequently. Salem has 94 parks, and there are 4 of them in my specific neighborhood. I don't know the exact number in Ward 6, but I know for sure that there's 4 parks in the North Lancaster Neighborhood Association, and they're all in varying stages of needs and development. Sorry. I know that the parks have work that need to be done, and I worry about the levy not passing and the impact that that's going to have on all of our parks.
Thank you for that. Candidate Garcia, you're now invited to share your 2-minute closing comments.
So I don't consider myself a politician. I got involved in a leadership role with my neighborhood association, and I realized that some of the issues that plague my community are bigger than me, and in order for me to be able to address them, I need to be sitting in a bigger seat, taking on a bigger role, and that's my goal. I have a proven track record of being a great leader, working with people, finding resolution, being very resourceful. And if I can't find a resolution on my own, I connect with the person that can resolve the issue, or at least help find clarity in working towards a resolution. I want to be the voice for the underrepresented. We have a large, vulnerable, and dense population, and many of us are economically disadvantaged. I'm ready to be the advocate for these people who haven't had a voice and still don't have a voice because the seat is vacant. I've gained a lot of support from my friends, my family, my church community, and as well as police and firefighters. I have great organizations backing me right now, and I've shared my vision and my plans for when I'm elected, and they want to support me, and I'm really excited and hope that the voters will turn out and elect me as their next counselor for Ward 6.
Thank you, Candidate Garcia, for our interview today and for sharing your thoughts.
Yes, thank you. Appreciate it.
And many thanks to Capital Community Media for their extensive technology and production skills used to create this program. Thank you also to the League of Women Voters of Marion and Polk Counties for the design and preparation of the program, and to the American Association of University Women for help with question development. And thanks to you, the public, for watching in order to become a more informed voter. For more local, state, and national voter information on candidates and ballot issues, visit vote411.org. You have until April 29th to register to vote or to make changes in your registration. Ballots will go out on May 1st and will be accepted if postmarked before or on Election Day, May 20th. May elections in odd-number years, conducted by counties, select representatives for local districts, such as school boards, fire and water districts, transportation, and cemetery districts. These are areas that affect our daily lives and are positions mostly filled by unpaid volunteers. Elections matter. Special district elections matter. Remember to vote, because your vote counts.